The digital to analog converter is the part of your system that makes or breaks the sound. It's where all those ones and zeros finally become something you can actually hear. With the new Eversolo Z10, Eversolo set out to build a DAC that focuses on great sound without complicating the experience. Now, we've worked closely with Eversolo through their biggest product launches and watched them grow from a newcomer into one of the most exciting digital audio brands on the market today. Now, as the largest Eversolo seller in the US here at Audio Advice, we have helped thousands of customers build systems around their streamers and DACs, and the Z10 feels like the next step in their evolution. Now, if you do decide to add one of these to your setup after watching this video, you can be among the very first to get it by ordering yours at audioadvice.com or through the link in the description, and you will also receive our lifetime expert support. So, what is the Z10? Well, the Eversolo Z10 is a standalone digital to analog converter and headphone amplifier. It does not stream music on its own like the A series models. Instead, it is designed to take a digital signal from a source such as, say, the Eversolo T8 streamer or a computer or a media server and turn it into high quality analog audio for your amplifier or powered speakers. Eversolo has made DACs before like the DAC Z6 or DAC Z8, but this Z10 steps into a much higher tier of performance and engineering. Now, you may be wondering, why separate your DAC and your streamer instead of just using something like the A6, which combines both into one chassis? Well, splitting components allows you to isolate the digital and analog stages, reduce noise, and a lot of other things, and get much cleaner clocking. It also gives you flexibility to upgrade pieces of your system over time. Now, if you're building a reference level setup or want the most future-proof path, separating your DAC and your streamer definitely has some clear benefits. Now, this Z10 carries the same design language as the T8 with a solid aluminum chassis, ribbed sides for cooling, and a glass front panel that blends smoothly into the metal frame. It looks every bit as premium as you would probably expect, but there is one thing that we immediately noticed when unboxing it. It is bigger than the T8. At roughly 15 inches wide, 12 inches deep, and 3 inches tall, it's noticeably larger. This means that the two don't stack as cleanly as we would have hoped. Now, considering these are an amazing pairing together and that many people will probably want to use them side by side or on top of each other, this mismatch feels like a small miss here. Now, side by side though, we do have to say they look fantastic. The styling, finish, and lighting all line up perfectly, and it is clear that Eversolo designed them to live together visually, even if the dimensions don't quite match up. On the front, the 8.8-inch IPS touchscreen is bright, it's fast, and it's clear from across the room. You get spectrum views, VU meters, and more technical monitoring layouts depending on your taste. The menu layout is simple and responsive, which makes it pretty fun to interact with instead of feeling like a small computer screen that's just tacked onto some audio gear. Now, to the left is a 6.35mm headphone jack, and to the right is a large volume knob with customizable ring lighting. Now, our early unit had a glass top that let us peek inside, which was pretty cool, although the retail units will come with a solid aluminum top, though we have to say that clear version had everyone here at Audio Advice gathering around to take a look at how clean the insides were. Now, inside, the DAC Z10 is built on Eversolo's fully isolated architecture, or FIA. Each channel has its own AKM, AK4191 modulator, and AK4499 DAC, its own linear power supply, and its own signal path from the input all the way to the output stage. This is a true left and right channel separation carried through the conversion stage and the analog volume control for maximum channel integrity and low noise. Power delivery is handled by 3 fully independent linear power supplies, with one feeding the left channel, one feeding the right channel, and one dedicated to the system control and logic. Now, by isolating each channel and the control circuitry, noise stays extremely low and channel separation remains precise, which contributes to the Z10's clean, stable soundstage and strong imaging. Now, for the digital conversion, like I said, the Z10 uses 2 dedicated AKM Velvet Sound decoding modules. Each channel has its own AK4191 modulator paired with its own AK4499 flagship DAC from AKM. This fully balanced, true dual mono structure keeps the left and right audio paths completely independent from input to output, which lowers noise, reduces crosstalk, and delivers stronger dynamics with cleaner spatial separation and much more precise imaging. Now, in the DAC settings in the Z10, you can even switch between several different digital filters, and you can also experiment with clock shaping modes. Now, we found subtle but audible differences depending on the track and the gear that we were using with these. Now, the volume control uses a high precision analog R2R ladder network with independent resistor ladders for each channel. And because the Z10 adjusts volume in the analog domain, instead of digitally attenuating the signal, it actually preserves full resolution, phase integrity, and channel balance at all listening levels. You can run the Z10 in a fixed output mode into a separate preamp, or you can switch to variable mode and use it as your preamp to drive a power amplifier or active speakers. Now, it also offers balanced XLR and RCA analog inputs and outputs with up to 10 dB of analog gain, so you can detect external sources like, say, a phono stage or a CD player and still benefit from the Z10's analog volume stage and fully balanced output path. This makes it a bit more flexible than the Z6 or the Z8, as those did not have that feature. Okay, now clocking is handled by the Eversolo Precision Core system, which uses an oven-controlled crystal oscillator. Yes, they actually keep the crystal oscillator in a miniature oven that keeps its temperature constant for more precision. This is extremely important because even the smallest drift in a clock signal can actually cause minor timing errors between samples, which in turn impacts the audio quality. Now, the more accurate the timing, the more alive, spacious, and just true to life your music sounds, as if you're actually right there at the live performance. In addition, they combine that with the PLL secondary jitter control and FPGA-based clock reconstruction that aligns timing and phase before conversion to ensure clean, accurate signal delivery and I2S data shaping. It also supports external clock inputs with multiple different impedance options for integration with high-end master clocks. Now, when it comes to connectivity, it includes USB audio that supports DSD512 native and PCM 768 kHz 32-bit lossless, has dual coaxial, dual optical, AES EBU, I2S with 8 selectable pin modes, and HDMI ARC and eARC for setup with your TV. All digital inputs feature electrical isolation to eliminate ground loop interference too. And Bluetooth is also on board, handled by a Qualcomm QCC5125 module with support for high-quality wireless codecs. The headphone section delivers up to 1 watt into both 16 and 32 ohm loads from its 6.35mm output. Now, this automatically detects the headphone impedance and then adjusts gain on its own, so you can move between headphones without having to change settings. Now, even with the fully balanced architecture inside, the headphone output here is single-ended only with no 4-pin XLR or 4.4mm connection. Still, it has plenty of drive and sounds clean and controlled, making it a really strong built-in option for most headphones. Now, you also get a solid metal remote with it, and you can control all the settings right from the touchscreen on the front or use the great Eversolo app. Now, in use, this Z10 delivers the kind of sound that makes you stop and listen. It really just did feel effortless and controlled with a really silent background that lets fine details float through. The bass texture had real weight and texture, not just depth, so you can easily follow pitch and movement in complex passages. The timing felt locked in, giving music a sense of drive and engagement, and the mid-range was really natural and spacious with lifelike presence around voices and instruments. Those AKM DACs deliver just a silky, extended character without ever feeling soft. The Z10 handles microdynamics beautifully, capturing subtle shifts in energy that makes the recordings really just feel alive. The highs, again, stayed clean and smooth, keeping the presentation neutral and easy to listen to for long sessions. When we paired it with the T8, the synergy was just excellent. The T8's precise digital output gives the Z10 everything that it needs to shine, and together, they perform well above their price point. Now, compared to their flagship all-in-one DMP A10 from Eversolo, this Z10 and T8 combination actually sounded a bit more open and more three-dimensional. The A10 is still a fantastic option for an all-in-one unit, but using the T8 as a dedicated transport and the Z10 as a separate DAC just gives the component more room to operate in its own optimized environment. The Z10's clocking and power isolation help to deliver a little bit better separation in instruments, especially in larger or more revealing systems than the A10. And we have to say, it was really interesting to compare what is the top-of-the-line ESS DAC in the DMP A10 to the top-of-the-line AKM in the Z10. In addition, that headphone amp section carries that same character here. It has plenty of drive for planar designs and a smooth, balanced tone for dynamic headphones too. The bass remains tight and authoritative, and transients were quick and vocals stay full without any harsh edges. Now, it's clear here that Eversolo aimed to build something that competes well above its price class, and to us, they really pulled it off. The Z10 doesn't try to sound overly rich or clinical. It lands right in the middle with a presentation that feels truthful and deeply musical. Now, for anyone building a reference level system, or maybe upgrading their DAC, the Z10 is an easy recommendation here. It shows just how far Eversolo has come in a really short time, and it sets a new benchmark for what a dedicated DAC in this price range can actually deliver. Now, if you have more questions about the Z10, or if you're wondering if you should upgrade or switch from a different DAC, go ahead and drop a comment down below or reach out to our team of experts at audioadvice.com, or you can always stop by one of our award-winning showrooms. We'd be happy to help you out. Now, if you like this video, please support us by giving a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and turning on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.